John Peters was clearly one of a kind.
He was groundbreaking.
He believed in progress, and he believed progress needed pushing.
John Peters really is considered sort of the father of modern nephrology. He really was instrumental in quantifying measurements of things like urine and blood.
His laboratory was the bedside. He did his research at the bedside trying to understand patients.
Dr. Peters really was a leader in using actual measurements in patients to uncover pathophysiology and to apply the advances in basic physiology to actually see how that could benefit patient care in the real world.
Quantitative Clinical Chemistry was a groundbreaking book. It forced everybody to think in theorems and then test these theorems by doing interesting experiments.
He was sort of an early translational scientist. I think Peters was ahead of his time, and I think he was a visionary.
Peters wanted to speed up the evolutionary process of medical progress through medical science and education with federal funding.
My grandfather had very strong values and felt it was very important that medical care be given to all Americans.
It's interesting to think about current debate and recent healthcare legislation in light of what Peters promoted and pushed for back in the 1930s.
Amidst all of his medical excellence, he was committed to healthcare.
It's this kind of breadth of concern for the health of the entire healthcare system that made John Peters unique and established the legacy for the wonderful recipients we've had for the John Peters Award.
Dr. Ravi Thadhani is professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School and chief academic officer and Harvard Medical School faculty dean for academic programs at Partners Healthcare. Dr. Thadhani is a gifted leader whose work has substantially enriched our understanding of vitamin D biology and metabolism in chronic kidney disease. He is also a gifted and highly respected clinician educator who has trained a number of superb young investigators in epidemiology and renal physiology. He has focused throughout his career on diversifying representation of women and minorities to build excellence in nephrology. Dr. Thadhani's research centers on preeclampsia diagnostics and therapeutics and vitamin D metabolism. He has published more than 300 papers, mentored numerous postdoctoral fellows, and made significant contributions to the advancement of women and underrepresented minorities in academic medicine. Working with clinical chemists at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, his team introduced the concept that bioavailable vitamin D is a robust measure for vitamin D status. Dr. Thadhani has devoted a great deal of time to understanding the mechanism of preeclampsia, a major hypertensive complication of pregnancy. He and his team conducted studies confirming that certain angiogenic proteins and low levels of placental growth factor are key characteristics of this disorder. Their studies form the basis for development of clinical diagnostic tests currently used throughout Europe to aid in the diagnosis of preeclampsia. Dr. Thadhani has received numerous honors, including the Harvard Medical School Harold Amos Faculty Diversity Award, the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health Alumni Award of Merit, the Shaul Masri Distinguished Lecture Award from the National Kidney Foundation, and the ASN Robert W. Schreier Endowed Lecture. He received his MD from the University of Pennsylvania and a Master's in Public Health and Epidemiology from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Dr. Thadhani has bridged gaps and reinforced connections between basic science, clinical research, and clinical practice, and fostered interdisciplinary opportunities across medicine and science in order to improve care for patients and advance the ability of others to do the same. ASN is honored to present Dr. Thadhani the John P. Peters Award, which recognizes individuals who have made substantial research contributions and sustained achievements in one or more domains of academic medicine, including clinical care, education, and leadership.